Hey everyone, I'm HoldenOnHere, and today I just wanted to do a fun short little video of me going over my top 5 favorite anime of all time, because I am in fact someone that enjoys anime. Now, not as much as a lot of other people. I'll even talk about it before we get to our number 1 pick, and I've talked about it before on my streams when people come in when I'm streaming over on the Time to Grind channel, and people are always just like, when we're talking about random stuff, asking me if I watch anime or what my favorite animes are, and so I thought it would be a fun HoldenOnHere video, just kind of going over my top 5 at a very casual level, right? This isn't going to be a whole big video essay or anything like that. Just wanted to give you guys my list, maybe talk about a couple reasons, a couple memories I have, from watching them as a kid. But like I said, I haven't really watched a whole lot of anime, but I do think that the anime I've watched is pretty freaking good. I kind of, every time my friends try to show me like bad movies or bad TV shows, I'm always like, guys, like I play so many video games. I don't watch that much TV or anime or movies. When I do one of those things, I want to watch like the best of the best, like I don't want to just watch a crappy anime. Whereas if you're someone where you watch a ton of anime, it's kind of fun to watch crappy anime, because one, you're just like, trying to find stuff. But so I gotta say, I think all of the movies, the TV shows, the anime that I've watched are all pretty good, because I set out to watch the best of the best. But I know it's an opinion, and so, obviously before we jump into this list, I am curious what y'all's top 5 is. But yeah, so we might save some of these individual, things. I might make whole video essays on individual anime in the future if that's something y'all want to see. So I know I'm gonna just completely gloss over this stuff, but yeah, let's just jump into it. Okay, so at number 5 on my list is Attack on Titan, and already going to give a disclaimer that I actually have not finished Attack on Titan. I caught up, I was like 3 or 4 seasons back when I was watching, and then a new season came out and I watched it, but then it was like years before I think some of the final seasons come out, and I've heard that it gets even better. So I haven't seen it all, but Attack on Titan, for those of you guys don't know, is one of the most brutal and violent anime I have ever seen in my life, right? There's these giant titans and they're murdering humans, right? That's the overall premise. And I actually discovered this show way back when I was a kid and I was first starting to get into anime, and I watched a couple anime and I asked my friends, I was real into Game of Thrones at the time, real into the HBO shows, and I was like, what is like the most like it doesn't need to just be like violent, but like what's the most like intense, like realistic, I don't know, there's giants, whatever, but like, just like the most brutal, I guess. I don't know. I wasn't necessarily looking for violence, but I wanted something that wasn't like whimsical anime stuff, right? And my friend showed me Attack on Titan, and when I watched episode 1 of Attack on Titan, for those of you guys that know, once you get to the point in episode 1 where shit starts hitting the fan, my jaw just dropped, and I was in it. I was so into it. And there are points where I feel like later in the show it does slow down. Like I said, I haven't seen this anime in a while. I need to either rewatch it or watch the stuff that I haven't watched. I do think it starts getting a little convoluted where I was, but I've heard that the newer seasons really just get back to what makes Attack on Titan amazing. And I feel like I had to put it on my list. I was kind of having a hard time figuring out what I would put as number 5, but I feel like I had to put number 5 on as Attack on Titan because it served such a good purpose. If you're someone that is wanting an anime that is just, just unapologetically like brutal and isn't just this whimsical little anime, Attack on Titan is pretty great, and I need to get back to it, but easily gonna put it at number 5 on my list. And at number 4 on my list is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I actually have seen all 6 parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that are out. Obviously, there's more parts in the manga, but I guess I don't read very often anymore. I read a ton as a kid, but JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is amazing. It is definitely bizarre. And if you guys haven't seen it, right, it's one of those shows where it's kind of like an anthology a little bit, where every part is themed very differently. There's like a mafia mafia part. There's a travel around the world part, and it's really, really good, especially once the show starts bringing in stands, right? The first two parts don't really have stands. They kind of have their own power systems. I'd say they're both good. Part one is probably one of my least favorite parts, and it's one of those things where, you kind of have to be like, oh, just get through part one. I think part one's good. Luckily, it's very, very short. It's the shortest part. And then part two, even though it doesn't have, my favorite power system in like an anime of the stands, part two is really, really, really good, right? There's a different JoJo in every season. I think my favorite is probably Jotaro, which I believe from part three. And then, he's in, some of the future parts. But JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is just so wacky. I love so many aspects of it. One, I love how wacky it is. Two, I love once you get into the, era of stands, right? Once you get to part three and beyond, the power system kind of changes, and they're rocking with these things called stands where, just everybody that is a stand user, has a stand, and it could just do whatever. People have stands where they have like army men as an army and they can control them. There's stands of stopping time, just being really strong, doing fire magic. Literally whatever you can think is a stand. And the further the show goes, the more insane the stands are, which I love. I love that every single part is very different, right? Everybody has their own favorite parts. I think my favorite part is, I want to say it's part 5, the mafia kind of arc and stuff like that. I really love that. The fight scenes are amazing. I love what it does with colors, right? If you haven't really seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure too much before, it constantly just is changing drastically the way everyone looks, right? There'll be a fight scene, and then halfway through the fight scene, the colors, the character's hair will change colors, the sky will turn to like purple, and it's just insane. The soundtrack's amazing. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is the reason for the to be continued meme. It's just good. It's so good. I think the only complaint I have with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and the reason it's not higher on my personal list, is it is really long. And as you guys will kind of see as we get, higher up on this list, I tend to prefer shorter anime, short and sweet anime, versus really long anime. And there are some parts that I feel drag on. Part 4, as an example, isn't my favorite part, especially once you get halfway through and it just doesn't really know what the show's trying to do. I think that's purposeful, right? Like I said, I can make a whole video essay on any of these individual parts. And the other part I don't really like is, I'm not gonna lie, I've talked about it before. Sometimes anime and anime culture can be very, very weird and very, very, very creepy. And I will say that there are some scenes in JoJo that make me very uncomfortable. And I'm not gonna talk too much into that, but I have felt the most weird watching JoJo compared to some other animes, though like I said, I'm watching very few anime. I know it's very common in some other anime, but I do just want to put that out there. But it's great. It's so good if you want just a quirky, wacky, anime with a big power system with a bunch of different parts. I'm so excited for when part 7 comes out, because part 6, the ending, I'm not going to spoil. Kind of crazy. So very interested to see how it goes from here. But it's just really cool how every part is different. So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is definitely very easily taking slot 4 on my list. And my third favorite anime of all time is Neon Genesis Evangelion. And now we're getting to some older anime and a short and sweet anime, right? I think there's like 24 episodes in Neon Genesis Evangelion, but it is like a mecha anime. And as far as I know, it is, sometimes it feels a little bit tropey when you're watching it, but it's one of those instances where it feels tropey because it created all of these tropes. So if you've never seen Neon Genesis Evangelion, but you've seen a million mech anime or cartoons that were inspired probably very heavily from Neon Genesis Evangelion, sometimes it can be a little bit weird to watch, you know, going back, but as long as you understand, like, Neon Genesis Evangelion is the original, right? It is just so good, right? It's one of those anime where it is kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie. I've watched the show probably about 3 to 4 times now at this point. That's the beauty of short shows. And it is very confusing, very mindfucky, very existential, you know, about pretty much these kids that are forced to pilot these mechs to defend the universe from these aliens or whatever, defend Earth from these aliens. And there's way more to it than that. That is so oversimplifying. Obviously, it's about, you know, the emotions and the feelings that these kids are going through for having the weight of the world put on them. There are a couple creepy scenes. I'm not gonna lie, a couple weird scenes, just hence them being kids. But I think the reason I connect with this show so much, and it used to be, Neon Genesis Evangelion used to be one of my favorite animes of all time. And I think the more anime I've seen, it slowly is getting put further down on the list, but it has continuously been in my top 3 favorite anime because I really like it. I connected with it as a kid, and also when I was watching Neon Genesis Evangelion as a kid, that's kind of when I was going through one of my biggest like existential crises or whatever you want to call it. And I feel like watching Neon Genesis Evangelion really helped me compartmentalize and I don't know, just tackle and deal with how I felt about mortality and my own mortality, and just the whole universe and everyone being together. Honestly, from someone that has done things like mushrooms and ego death, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but you know, kind of the finale and things that happen and the themes that you feel, I relate to very similarly with, and it's just really good. The soundtrack is so good. I have some of the songs on my Spotify still to this day and listen to them sometimes. It is so freaking good. The fight scenes are so good. The animation is incredible for it being an older anime, and it is so good. The only caveat I would say is if you are going to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion, watch, as far as I believe, watch all of the episodes of the anime except the final 2, and then you need to, before you watch those final 2 episodes, you need to watch the movie End of Evangelion, because apparently what happened is the anime came out and it just wasn't, I guess, that financially popular or whatever, successful, and so they didn't have a budget to do the finale they wanted to, and then later on the show became critically acclaimed and cult following, so they actually got to go back and make the ending that they wanted. So if you are going to watch this, I would recommend watch the first, all the episodes except the last 2, watch the End of Evangelion movie, and then watch the final 2 episodes. There are the rebuilds. I've seen one of those. I haven't really seen them all. I need to go and watch them more. But it's just a really good anime. One of my favorite anime. It's short and sweet as well. Maybe not sweet. There's a lot of depressing stuff in it, but just incredible show. And I totally get if it's not for everyone, but at the very least, you have to acknowledge how influential the show was and anime was for other animes. And also, I'll probably at some point in time make a top 5 worst anime I've ever seen in my life. But I'll give you a sneak peek if I do that. One of my least favorite animes I've ever seen in my entire life is an anime called Darling in the Franxx. And it literally is just a ripoff of Neon Genesis Evangelion, except they crank up to 11 the weirdness and creepiness and the, I don't know, just the focusing of the child aspect is just very weird. Don't watch that anime. Watch Neon Genesis Evangelion, because it is my 3rd favorite anime of all time. And for my 2nd favorite anime of all time, it's gotta be My Hero Academia. Now I was talking about how I really like the short and sweet anime, but this is not that. This is like a full-blown shonen anime. But what I love about My Hero Academia is the pacing, right? I've tried to watch shows like Naruto or things like that, and I just, or One Piece, right? My friends tried to show me One Piece, and I just can't stand how bad the pacing is in those shonen animes. It feels like you get 5 minutes of content every episode, between flashbacks, between people just standing on a bridge and looking at each other and talking for 15 minutes, right? That applies to both Bridge Arc and One Piece, and I'm sure more, or sorry, in Naruto and One Piece as well. You know, My Hero Academia is the exact opposite. Even though it's a shonen anime, every episode of the anime, I genuinely feel like I got like 2 or 3 episodes worth of content in one episode. The pacing is so freaking good. And now at this point, I actually haven't seen, I think I need to get caught up. I've seen like all of, but I think the final season or 2 seasons, I know it's coming to an end. I know there's some spin-offs as well. But My Hero Academia is just so good, right? If you don't know, kind of like one of those school kid, superhero kind of shows, very heavily themed, and seems like inspired by almost like superhero culture here in America. It is so good, right? I don't want to spoil too much, but I mean, if you watch the show, you'll find very quickly, main character doesn't have powers. Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen, but it's just incredible, because similarly to why I like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, with everyone just having different quirky stands, and that in My Hero Academia, they have quirks, and it's like something like 60 or 70% of the entire population in the world all of a sudden just started developing quirks, and they could be literally anything. They could be something where you're giant. They could be something where you shoot fire or you shoot ice, or you have kids and they shoot fire and ice. Wink, wink, wink. Or it could be weird things like you're an anthropomorphic toaster, or you have dragon wings, or you can shoot explosions, right? And so, you have the real, or my favorite character of all time, the hypnosis guy, I'm forgetting his name right now, with purple hair, in class 1B. And so you're following, these characters, and you're following these students. And then obviously the later the show gets on, just existential stuff is going on to the society. And it is so good. Some of the best villains in anime I've ever seen, some of the best heroes I've ever seen in an anime, considering it's like a superhero anime, and it is just so good. And 1, because I love the characters. 2, because like I said, I love the quirks. 3, the fights are amazing. The animation is amazing. I don't know if I said the music is amazing, but the ultimate reason for why I love My Hero Academia is because it is actually good paced. And I know that's crazy, for it to propel something to a number 2 spot on my list, right? But after having so many people in my life try to show me shonen anime, or whatever, like One Piece, like Naruto, stuff like that, and just them being so unbearable to watch, when I started watching My Hero Academia, I got so hooked, because it's just like a 10 out of 10 in all departments. There's been some people that have said certain parts go on for too long for them. For me, I haven't felt that. I feel like the whole thing perfectly paced. I've loved all of it, and I am very soon going to be going back to it and finishing it up, because I need to. It's just been too long, and I'm so excited because it's so good. So if you are someone that likes these, longer anime, and you like stuff like that, then you definitely gotta check out My Hero Academia. And now, before we get to my number 1 favorite anime of all time, I do want to give a couple honorable mentions. Number 1 is going to probably be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think that is one of the best anime I've ever seen, but unfortunately, like a lot of anime, I for some reason have only seen half of it. I watched half of it with my friend Matthew, and we both loved it, and I think just life happened and we both stopped. A year or 2 later, we restarted it, fell in love with it again, got halfway yet again, and then just stopped because of life. And it's in one of those weird limbo situations where I don't know. I don't know if I should just go to where I was or restart it again. But so many people put that as on their top 3, and I understand why. It is incredible. Go watch that. Also, Demon Slayer, I've seen a couple episodes of, really enjoyed it. At the time that I was watching that anime, I was kind of going through a period where I didn't want too many intense, crazy things. And so kind of put it down, but I need to revisit it. I've heard a lot of people really, really enjoy it. Another thing, Steins Gate, almost like a time travel, time loop anime. And that's a short and sweet anime. I think it's over in 25 episodes. And I don't know how I haven't been able to finish the same thing. Watched half of it twice. I need to go back to it, but it is crazy good. One of the coolest time travel things I've ever watched. So got to give a shout out to that. And then lastly, second to last, Hunter. Pretty cool. Matthew's been showing it to me over time. I think the pacing isn't necessarily the best, but it is better than other animes. And it's fun. I wish I wish the characters were older, because they're so young in that show, and they're literally like gods on earth. It just is. It's a little bit too of a childhood, or too, I don't know. It's too like child friendly, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. There's some dark stuff that happens in that show, but overall, I feel like it's a little bit too lighthearted for it to make like my top, top animes. I don't think it takes itself seriously as much, but I do really enjoy it. Right now, I'm in the nearing the end of the video game island arc. It's really fun, so I don't know if you want more shonen anime, it is good, and I've heard that the next part that I'm going to is like one of the best parts ever, so I'm very excited. And then last honorable mention I gotta talk about is One Punch Man, because One Punch Man season 1 was incredible. If there was only one season of One Punch Man, I would probably put it somewhere in my top 5. It's a anime that makes fun of other anime and other cartoons and superhero culture, and the main character can literally beat anything, any boss in one hit. That's the whole meme. And I loved it. Part 2, season 2 came out and it was okay. It just wasn't what I felt One Punch Man was about. And I've heard season 3 is in like development hell or whatever. And I don't know if we'll ever see season 3. And if we do, if it'll be good. So just got to give a shout out to season 1 of One Punch Man, because if we're just counting that, it probably would be in my top 5, but we're not. We're counting it as a whole, or at least the ones that I've seen. So just kind of fits in the honorable mentions. But without further ado, let's get into my number 1. And my number 1 favorite anime of all time, and the first anime I've ever seen in my life, is Cowboy Bebop. If you haven't seen Cowboy Bebop, you are missing out. It is, like I said, one of those animes that's a short and sweet anime. I think it's got like 24 episodes, and then it is done. We're not counting the weird live action Netflix thing that they attempted. Go watch the One Piece live action. Don't watch the Cowboy Bebop one live action. But Cowboy Bebop is so freaking good, right? It's kind of like this space, it's like bounty hunters in space, and you have jazz as like the soundtrack, and it is just so good. Also, this is actually one of the only animes on this list that I watch the dub instead of the sub, right? Normally I watch this, the subs of anime, very big subtitle person, but Cowboy Bebop, I think, got picked up by Cartoon Network or something way back when. This is an older anime as well, and so the dub is actually really, really good. So I've fallen in love with the English voices. I love all the characters, love the dog, and just love so much about Cowboy Bebop. And it is just so good, right? The episode, it's kind of episodic. Like, there's not a whole giant big plot. There's a slight plot that kind of happens throughout the whole show, but for the most part, it's episodic. You'll get like 2 or 3 episodic episodes, and then you'll kind of get one sort of story episode, and then you'll get like 2 or 3 more episodic episodes. So there is a wide range of content and episodes in the show. It's still, it takes itself very seriously, but it's also still very comedic. All the characters are likable. The voice acting in the dub is incredible, and it's so good. And I don't know if it's because it was my first ever anime that my friend Matthew got me into anime as a kid, and that's probably, he knew it was probably a great anime to get into, right? Because, 1, you could watch the English version, and 2, short and sweet, and it's just good. It's just so good, and it's one of those things where I can't necessarily like explain more than that why I love it so much, besides, right, when there's this fight scene happening in space and you're hearing jazz. I literally have the vinyl of Cowboy Bebop. I bought it. It's amazing. I listened to the soundtrack so many times, and it's just so good. The characters are amazing. The corgi in the show is amazing, and it's just so freaking good. And with all of the other short and sweet animes on this list, all you gotta do is just go watch 25 episodes and you'll understand why it's so good. Now, the people that made that did make Samurai Champloo as well, more of like an actual like samurai show. And then it's like samurai with hip hop. And I've seen like 10, 11 episodes of that. I need to go and watch that more. But Cowboy Bebop has always pretty much been my number 1 anime. I think there was maybe a time where Neon Genesis beat that out, but the longer I've gone, it's so good to rewatch, right? I rewatch Neon Genesis, or I rewatch Cowboy Bebop way more than other shows like Neon Genesis Evangelion or even JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And it's really, really good. And I love it, and I don't have much else to say about that other than that. So definitely watch Cowboy Bebop if you have not already. It is so freaking good. You won't be disappointed. But that's about it. That's my top 5 favorite anime. Hopefully this was entertaining for you. I'm sure I'll show this video to people whenever people ask me what my favorite anime is. I now can point to a single video, and hopefully it was entertaining for you guys because I love anime. I need to watch more of it. Like I said, I haven't seen very many. It was actually, normally I give my top 3 list, but I was like, well, for a video, I should probably do a top 5 list. And so I kind of had to figure out what my, my 4th and 5th answers were. But it's really cool. So let me know in the comments down below, your thoughts on my top 5. If you like, or if you agree or disagree with my list, I would love to hear it. I would also love to hear y'all's list. If you have any good anime recommendations, let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this type of video, let me know as well, right? I'm still kind of experimenting and just doing a bunch of random stuff on this channel as a creative outlet and trying to make sure that there's a bunch of, random content coming out in some form or capacity. So let me know if you'd want me to take a deeper dive in any of these anime. Let me know if you'd maybe want to see a similar type of video for other things like my favorite TV shows, my favorite movies, stuff like that. I don't know. But hope you enjoyed, make sure you guys subscribe and ring that bell to get this channel caught up to my other channels. As of recording this video, we are literally tied up with, oh, I don't have the camera on, I'm a professional streamer, with the Neon Apes channel. So we are almost overtaking my podcast channel. So that is incredible. So now we just need like 35 or so thousand more subscribers to catch up to Time to Grind. So go subscribe, all of that stuff. Hope you enjoy anime or whatever else you're doing. Other than that, I'm holding on here. I'm holding on here just like y'all. I don't really remember how I end these videos, but I'll see you guys next time.